Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we have the elite charm priority tier list because at reset we are going to be getting the elite charms craftable and they are very expensive. It costs 2,700 golden essence in order to craft a full set, basically 900 essence per individual charm, but eventually we'll get them complete. So these are going to be all the key heroes. I've also tried to put it in order of priority, like the S tier heroes definitely are going to be more priority compared to the lower tiers. But the first thing I want to talk about is heroes which can be getting their charms from the charm merchant, like Aliceth, who I put in the S tier, and Isabella in the A tier. You can just buy them for gold in the charm merchant. It is basically, and then you can save all your golden essence. So do not actually craft these heroes charms. You just buy it for the charm merchant and you're done. Okay, and that's kind of a reason I've also put Isabella in the A tier, but we'll talk about that. Okay, so the S tier first, of course, is going to be Chimera, your damage dealer for multiple top Dream on boss teams. You want to get her charms crafted. Use those mage exclusive golden essence because really the only key mage hero is going to be Chimera. If you take a look at all of the heroes I put in the different priorities, I don't think there's even another mage here other than Chimera. So she's basically the key one you want to use for the mage essence. Then we have Valar. Now, Valar is actually really high up on this list because from the VN server testing that they did in the early days, they were getting a bigger score boost for the people who had Valar charms as compared to another support like the Twins or even Rainier. So I would recommend get the Valar charms pretty early on, but of course you'll also want to get the Twins charms. These are going to be the two key support heroes, both in the S tier, that you want to get their charms. Valar's charms basically increase an attack to the ally who is being healed by her, and the Twins charms, allies within 2 tiles of the Twins are going to be receiving an attack buff. So both of them are going to be very important. Then we have Ravion. Of course, he is dominating quite a lot in pre-endless Dream on bosses right now. He's in the best team for 3 to 4 bosses, and definitely you want to get his charms. Unfortunately, his charm effect isn't the best for Dream Realm content because it is that high buff value that decays over time, and you can only prevent the decay if you get an assist or kill, which of course in boss content you're not going to be able to get that, which is a bit unfortunate, but still, definitely get the Vavion charms because he's just very meta. Then you have Baelran. Baelran has a really good charm bonus. It increases his damage dealt after basically a period. You get the first 10 or 15 seconds of damage reduction onto Baelran, and then after that, he's going to convert that buff into damage boost buff, and then he will be dealing higher damage to the target. And already in pre-endless bosses, Baelran has been surprisingly meta. He's meta for Blightshroom definitely, and in the other Magmazard, he was in the second best team. So definitely Baelran, get his charms if you haven't built to Supreme Plus. Of course, only get hero charms for these heroes if you have them built. Like Baelran, Aliceth, Saida, when we talk about them, do not get their charms unless you have them built, like to Supreme Plus. That is the only reason you should get their charms. But then it is a priority. Twins we talked about. A pretty important priority along with Valar for supports. And then we have Faramore. Faramore is used in multiple Dream on bosses as a buffer and damage dealer for pre-endless bosses right now. Getting his charms is going to boost his damage as well by a significant amount. So definitely get the Faramore charms pretty soon. And he's one of the big rogues along with Ravion if you have Ravion built as you see here. And for warriors, it's really only Baelran. Then we have Zany. If you have Zany built like Mythic Plus or above really, then she could be in the top teams for you. You guys have probably already done testing on your own Zanies on your own account for the Dream Realm top teams. If Zany's in any top team for you, whether it be Primal Lord, whether it be Dream Realm, then do get her charms just to boost her stats, and that is why she's in the S tier, because she's in the best team for Blightshroom Dream Realm boss and also Primal Lord. One of the best teams, she's in it. Then we have Aliceth. Aliceth is the best. If you have her Supreme Plus, she is the best in a couple of top pay-to-win teams. For example, today in King Croker, she's a pretty big score boost compared to the non-pay-to-win version, like the no Aliceth version. And then also, she's good in Mirage Froststrike, along with Athalia. But that's a very pay-to-win team. So either way, if you're using Aliceth, if you have her Supreme Plus, get her charms. Could you just buy them from the Charm Merchant? It's just like 30,000 gold. It's practically free, basically. But don't craft them. Do not craft Aliceth charms. Do not craft Isabella charms when we talk about them, because you need to just buy them from the charm merchant. I made a mistake. I crafted her blue charms. I'm not going to make that same mistake again. I'm going to buy them from the charm merchant. Then A tier we have Mikola. Mikola provides attack buff to allies within 2 tiles, but it is not stackable with the twins. The twins have the same basically charm bonus, and multiple heroes we're going to talk about here do have the same charm bonus. However, the thing is, there are certain teams like where the twins are not used, like Blightshroom, Dream Realm Boss. The top team doesn't use twins, but it uses Mikola, and Mikola will be within 2 tiles of the other damage dealers, and so if she is going to have her charms, that's going to give an attack buff to your damage dealers, and it should definitely boost your score quite good, a good amount in Blightshroom. Then we have Sinbad. So Sinbad isn't really in top teams right now. If you have all the other heroes built, you're not using Sinbad. That's, for example, for me, I'm not using Sinbad in any of the top teams. However, if you're lacking some of the top heroes being built, Sinbad is going to be your best option for some Dream Realm bosses. And overall, Sinbad is a solid hero. But of course, if you're not using him at all in Dream Realm, he'll be in B tier, basically. Athalia, only Mirage Frostspike. Necrodraken, I can't remember if she was in the best team for Necrodraken this week. Even if she was, it probably wasn't a big difference compared to Sinbad, who was also a good damage dealer. Or even Ravion, actually, sorry. Ravion's a damage dealer for Necrodraken. So Athalia, anyway, she has some Dream Realm usage. If you're using her in a top team and you have her belt, you can get her charms. We have Isabella. So Isabella probably is going to be top for Nocturne Judicator. Obviously, it isn't confirmed yet. We haven't tested it, but it is just so likely because her kit is almost perfectly made for that boss. And if that is the case, her charms are going to give a bonus attack buff to allies who she heals, but she will only be healing that frontmost target, her companion. But that is all you want, just giving more attack buff to the Midnight Hunter. So Isabella definitely you can buy the charms from the charm merchant. Do not craft them, just buy them. Saida, so she was in the top team for King Croaker today if you have her built. And she is a she's good for King Croaker, and of course for AFK stages, she is the absolute beast. It is ridiculous how overpowered Saida is for AFK stages. Like, we thought Baleran was bad, like in the previous season. But Saida, as soon as she's been released since then, up until now, she is just completely shown her worth in AFK stages. So yeah, getting her charms, and she has a good charm quality bonus as well. You have Shakir. So Shakir is in the Primal Lord team. Top team. He's a Nocturne Judicator and will likely remain there. Shakir's charms have the same bonus as Mikola. They have the same bonus as the twins. And they're not stackable, which is attack buff to allies within 2 tiles. However, if you're in for example, a map situation, like even the Primal Lord, where maybe Shakir is on one side, the Pink Twin is on the other side, maybe the Pink Twin charm buff effect cannot reach all allies, but Shakir's can. So for example, I can definitely see a way that maybe you would need to patch in with more heroes, even though it's a non-stackable buff effect. So Shakir charms are also going to be important. Also, of course, when you get the charm upgrade to the heroes, it's going to boost their own stats. So their own individual damage output will also be higher, along with the bonus they're bringing. Daemon, so Daemon isn't really in any, again, top Dream Realm teams. However, he is in some like second best, third best teams, and if you're using him at all, then get his charms. And his charms are actually very strong. It's a 24% attack buff, I believe, for the ally who he shields, and of course he's shielding an ally throughout the match, and that's the hero who your hyper carry. So Daemon, honestly, with that big attack buff from his charms, I really feel like he'll get even better for different Dream Realm content. Maybe not in a top team, but definitely an upgrade for the other teams. So that's why Daemon is here. Smokey. So Smokey is also not in any top 12 Dream Realm boss teams, but he can be in some like lower tier teams. He has a good charm bonus. Whenever he heals an ally, he gives them an attack buff, kind of like I think it's the same effect as Valara, but either way, that is strong. But Smokey just not very meta in Dream Realm as of right now, but I mean in some backup teams he can be there, but that's why I've kept him towards the bottom of A tier. Then we have B tier. So the heroes in B tier, I mean, they will be important, and arguably maybe you would even prioritize them over some of the heroes in A tier. It kind of does come down to a bit to what your area you're focusing on. So Bonnie has some Dream Realm use, not in any top team, but in some, you know, a budget or more friendly teams, and she's still good. Her charm bonus is not great. I think it's the same bonus effect as Sonya, which is like deal some bonus damage every 6 seconds, which isn't amazing. In AFK stages, Bonnie has a bit of usage as well, so that's why I've also put her here. Brian, of course, is really good for AFK stages, especially for people who don't have Saida. You're using Brian a lot in AFK stages, and of course the Legend Tower, Trial Tower as well, but that's not as important. But yeah, get his charms. His charms will increase his damage output pretty decently. basically brings in another true damage proc on one of his like normal attacks, I believe, is what is the effect. Then you have Sonya, who has the same effect as Bonnie, I believe, just some bonus damage every 6 seconds. It's kind of minor, not a big priority. And also the thing is, if you have Ravion built, you're going to be using Ravion. Well, Sonya actually is still in top teams. I believe there's one top Necro Drake, and I think Sonya is still there along with Ravion. So yeah, Sonya is also going to be important for you to build up. And then we have Kruger, who is in the Primal Lord top team. If you get his charms, it'll boost his damage slightly, just kind of a slight damage boost. Apart from that, he's in some Dream On bosses as well, top teams. So yeah, getting his charms will be important, but again, it only really boosts his own damage, which is not really that major in a fight. However, yeah, eventually you should get Kruger charms as well. Then you have Thorin. So Thorin has the same charm quality bonus as your Shakira, Mikola twins, which is that gives allies within 2 tiles an attack buff, but these buffs are not stackable. So Thorin is only in the top team for King Croker, but he is in that. But the thing is, in that team, you also have the twins, and the twins are going to be providing that buff effect for your allies, and this is not stackable. So that's basically the reason why most likely it's not necessary to have Thorin, but again, it depends on the positioning in the fight. If the twins are not able to provide that buff to an ally, but the Thorin can, then his charms are going to be important. So eventually you also get Thorin charms, and if you look at it here, they're not major tank priorities. If you look at all of the tanks here, actually, it's just Daemon and Thorin, and honestly, I don't know, you could even argue that Thorin would be more important than Daemon, but I just considered you're probably all going to have twins charms, and like, because they don't stack the Thorin and twins charms, but it also depends on the positioning, because Thorin could get in a position where the twins are not at. So anyway, basically, that is the idea behind Thorin and Daemon. Both are important. Like, also take these tiers with a grain of salt, because like I said, it depends kind of what you're focusing. If you just want to min-max Primal Lord, Kruger would be in the A tier. If you, and a lot of these heroes you probably also won't have. And Daemon and Smokey, I've kind of put them here preemptively, even though currently they're not really in any top meta team, right? But I just think the charm quality bonus is solid, and they are solid heroes overall. That's why I've kind of put them here. Then you have Rainier. So Rainier charm quality bonus isn't great this season. It gives range damage boost to an ally behind him, but the thing is, in the Shamira teams when you're using Rainier, you just swap that hero right into melee range, and when a hero is in melee range of the boss, the damage is considered melee damage. At least that is my understanding of it, and that is why this range damage boost is not actually going to be that effective for the allies who are position swapped by Rainier. However, if there are some teams where there is an ally which remains in the back, remains with range damage, then maybe this range damage increase can be good. But like usually your hyper carry is the one who is being position swapped by Rainier, and then they're not going to get as much benefit from this. Okay, next we have Hugin. Hugin has the same charm quality bonus as Rainier, which is a range damage boost to the ally behind him. But the thing is, Hugin is only top in Nocturne Judicator, and honestly speaking, I have a feeling Isabella might replace Hugin in Nocturne Judicator, because when you look at the Nocturne Judicator team, you have the twins, which are not, you cannot replace the twins. Valar as well, you cannot replace her. She's the best, basically, buffer, debuffer. You have Kruger and Shakira. Shakira, I mean, cannot be replaced. He has such good buffs for your allies. And then Kruger for that physical defense debuff. No one does it as well as Kruger. Hugin is using that team, and he's good because he provides attack buff to like the Nocturne Judicator when Hugin casts his ultimate. However, that is basically it when I think about Hugin. But like when you think about Isabella, yeah, like Isabella, massive attack. Like the difference in terms of attack buff value between Isabella and Hugin is like 10 times or something. So Isabella, I think, is taking the place of Hugin Nocturne Judicator. That's my prediction. I feel like that's probably going to be the case, but who knows? And then like Hugin will not be meta at all. And Coco. So Coco has an interesting charm bonus, but it's for melee damage. I think it boosts melee damage for an ally in front of her, which is again kind of weird because like there's not that many melee heroes. However, I mean, if you're using Coco in Dream Realm, like there are some teams that use Coco for survival, although I hasn't seen that much of it this season, to be honest. But anyway, she's a solid hero, and for maybe some Dream Realm for survival, getting her charms and boosting damage of one of your melee heroes, it could be good. But like when you look at it here, it's basically range damage dealers. Dream Realm is usually dominated by range damage dealers. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope it was helpful. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section down below. If you think that I missed any hero on this list, feel free to let me know and point it out, because, of course, that can be very helpful for people. But I really do believe these are the key heroes you should be prioritizing. And just to basically recap the classes again, the main only mage one is Shamira. The warrior is Baelran, is the big, if you have Baelran built. If you don't have Baelran built, the two warriors are going to be Sonya and Kruger, the big two warriors that you want to get the charms for. Kruger for Primal Lord and some Dream Realm, Sonya for some Dream Realm, basically it. Apart from that, now if we look at the tanks, again, tank is also not a very competitive class. It's basically only Daemon, and then you have Thorin, and both can be important. I would get both of their charms, and you'll probably be able to get both of them just even with your exclusive tank essence if you've saved it all. And that's what I'm planning to do. And for the marksman, the number one will be Zany. If you have Zany built and you're using her in top teams, Aliceth you're just gonna get from the charm merchant, so you don't need to use any marksman essence onto her. And then you have the two Bonnie and Brian. Now Bonnie is not, obviously if you're using Brian more in AFK stages, you can consider Brian before Bonnie, and that's probably a better idea. But Bonnie, just for all around, she can be decent in AFK stages, decent in some Dream Realm teams, and then also PvP, but like she's not necessarily a must build for those charms. And then we have the difficult charms, which are going to be Rogue and Support. Support and Rogue are pretty stacked. Support Valarian Twins I have made the number one priority, and then after that Isabella will be from the Charm Merchant. Mikola you want to get as well, and you want to get, honestly, you could probably skip out on Smokey, honestly speaking, but like, there's not any other major priorities here other than potentially Rainier, because he is in top teams, even though his necessary quality bonus isn't going to be a massive bonus. And then you have the Rogue. Rogue is also stacked. Ravion and Pheromone, both the most important in my opinion. Sinbad, Athalia, depends if you're using them or you have Athalia built. Saida, if you have Saida built, you'll probably want to definitely get her charms for the AFK stages. Shakir as well for the Primal Lord. And what else do we have? That is basically it. So anyway, guys, I hope this was helpful. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. Good luck with all the crafting. The other good news is my viewer told me we're going to be getting the Heroic Gauntlet after reset. And that Heroic Gauntlet also grants us a lot of essence. So we'll be able to craft more charms more freely. So that's also good news. And if you guys have been saving some essence now, you're probably also ready to craft some key charm sets. So I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. If you're not already a member of my AFK Journey Discord server, please join that. There is a link to that in the description of this video. Also, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. There is a link to that in the description of this video and a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.